that the recording has started. So, just to recap, like in the previous class, we discussed about T-SQL, right? Uh, what are the features of T-SQL? We have gone through the data types, we have gone through loops and conditionals, built-in functions, uh, and we have also seen what are tables, what do you mean by rows and columns, and we have seen create table, output table, drop table, statements, and how to do from both SSMS as well as from the query. So, any questions from the previous class? Okay. So I'm assuming like no questions, and hope you were able to practice. You were able to install and SQL Server and started practicing. So I'm assuming that. So today what we'll do, we'll cover select statement and we'll also cover joins. So out of all the queries, as we discussed, select statement is very frequently used, and one of the important SQL statements you have to learn. There are various forms of select statement. So most of the time, what we'll end up is like we'll end up retrieving the data. So obviously, like inserting the data is comparatively less frequent. Updating is also less frequent. It's more like retrieving and projecting the data in a particular way and as per your dashboard requirement or reporting requirements. So understanding select statement is very important. Um, so what we'll see is like first we'll see the full syntax similar to the create table, create database statements. We'll see the full syntax of the select statement and with all the options. So there are various optional clauses that you can include as part of select statement. And yeah, and then we'll see the logical processing order. That means out of all the clauses which are in the select statement, what is the order in which the clauses are executed by the SQL engine. So when you submit your select statement, there is a particular order in which these are executed. So we'll understand the logical processing order of the clauses, and then we'll briefly see like what are the permissions required. That means what are the database roles that you have, like DB owner and all. So what are the basic permissions that you need for anybody to run select statements on your tables and databases, right? And we'll also see some of the select statement examples. So there are various forms of selection. Okay, so let's start with that. Um, so I already have my AdventureWorks database, right? Um, and hope you were also able to attach this database. This is very friendly, like very useful to practice your SQL queries and all. So coming to the overall select statement, you can, these are all the optional clauses that you can have, right? Um, so select statement can take the form of like with, right? And there are something called common table expressions, which are more like mm, if you have frequently running queries and all, like you can use this common table expressions, which is a bit advanced concept. And order by clause is there. So order by is like you want to order your records based on, I mean, sorting, right? So you want to sort based on a particular column value. You have to use this order by clause, right? And it can have repetitions actually. Okay? Order by, you can order by a particular column, and then you can order by another column within that particular order. So you can do that actually, right? And for clause is there, and option clause is there, right? some optional conditions can be uh, passed here. And what is the query expression? So this is the core part of your select query. So from which table you are like, what are the different columns that you are trying to extract? So that comes under your query expression, right? And your query specification. So under query expression, you have to pass your query specification, and query specification can be one of these actually. So select all. So by default, it is all. Okay. So that means you want to select all the columns without any. So even if some repeated or duplicate columns or duplicate records are there, you want to select those records as well. So you want to select all the columns and all records, right? And a replacement for this is star. So you can also say star. That means all columns and all records. Okay. And if you don't see any conditions like you are not filtering using where clause, that means you are retrieving all the records. Okay. So top is like out of the records that is fetched based on your conditions and based on your select statement, it will only retrieve the top n number of records. So let us say top 10 records or top 20 records or whatever. Right? And this is your select list. So select list is more like the list of columns that you want to select, right? So instead of star, you say like column 1, column 2, column 3, or whatever is the column. So you can mention in any order. So order does not matter. So for example, let us say, let us take this table. So you have various columns. So the order in which you want to retrieve the columns is you have a flexibility. So I can say in this particular table, I can say select object, event, and post time or post time database user event in whatever order I want to retrieve, right? And when you say star, these are retrieved based on similar to how these are displayed here. So the order in which the columns are created, in the same order, the columns will be retrieved. Okay. Into new table means you are trying to create a new table from the records which you have fetched. So for example, I have put some condition, I have done some filtering and remove only 2 columns. And the record set I want to push into a new table. I can do that actually. So select into new table. When you use into with select, that means the records which are fetched are pushed into a new table. A new table is created for you with all the with the result set. So when you say result set is the number of the records and columns which are retrieved as part of your select step. And from is the table source. So from which table you want to retrieve the records, and it can be number of tables. So where the joins will come into picture, which we'll discuss. So if there are number of tables, that means you are joining multiple tables. But the simple one is like you retrieve from at least one table, right? So from clause is mandatory, right? And where clause is there. So where is like you are trying to filter the records. That means here you are filtering the columns. Select list is for filtering the columns. Where is for filtering the records. That means out of the first records, only records where some condition is met, only those records will be retrieved. Okay. And then comes the group by clause. So group by clause is more like, for example, you have number of records. You want to group the records in a particular based on a particular column value. Let us say you have age, right? And out of all the students, you want to group the records based on the age. That means all students with particular age will be grouped in a particular order. So the order of the records will change when you say group by. Okay. And having is a condition which you want to apply on a particular group. That means if I say select all students with a particular age, group by age column, right? And having age greater than 10. That means all the other groups will be brought. So having is a filter, for your various groups, right? So you can use having only after you use group by. So group by and having will go hand in hand. So without group by clause you can't have having, right? And from is necessary, into is not mandatory, right? And where um, yeah, where condition is also not mandatory, but when you apply it will like filter your records. Okay. So why do we have optional square brackets here? From normally the standard queries will have from, but you can also say just select some statement, so that will output the particular value to your console. Okay. So just to demonstrate that, so when I say select test, right. So test will be output. So from, though it is not mandatory for most of the table queries, when you are trying to fetch data from tables, from is necessary. Okay, but select can be used with literal values also. That means you can just say uh, select test, and the output will be sent to your output window or the console. Okay. So coming back to our statements, yeah, now we will understand. So we have understood the basic clauses which are part of your select statement, right? And there is an order. So when you pass multiple clauses, like let us say you are passing from, where, to, by, having, and different clauses to your select statement, right? So there is an order in which these clauses are executed by your SQL engine. So understanding this order is also very important. Okay. So out of all the clauses, from clause is executed first, because it should know what are the table sources, one table or multiple tables, right? If it is join, it is multiple tables. So from is first. So when you pass any SQL statement like this, right? So first the SQL engine will look at from. That means from which table or tables I have to retrieve the data. So imagine yourself as a SQL engine, right? So from which table I have to retrieve the data. Okay. On means, well, if there are multiple tables, so that means when you are joining the tables, you have to you may pass some conditions like on, right? So when you say on, that means some condition based on which you are retrieving the records from multiple tables, right? So that is on. So then it will look at on if there are multiple tables, right? Then it will look at join. That means what kind of join you want, you're driving the, I mean, what kind of join you are performing on the table. So shortly we'll see various types of joins, right? Then it will apply the where clause. That means if you are passing any condition in your where clause, so out of all the records that it fetched by using applying these clauses, it will apply the condition. So that means it will filter out all the other records. Okay. Then it will apply the group by clause. That means it will, whatever resultant records are there, it will apply group by and group the records based on the group by columns. That means if I say group by column 1, all the records order will change. Okay. So with cube or with roll up is more like a analytical statement. So when you are doing slicing and dicing, so it will represent the data in a cube form, right? So all these cubes will come into picture when you are doing analytical programming, right? So it will apply these cubes and roll-ups, more like an advanced concept. Okay. So with cube or with roll-up means it will transform the data into a form of a cube, that is three-dimensional data. Okay. And then it will apply having. Having means it has applied group by. If there is anything specified in having, it will apply that condition for each of the groups. So you can have just group by, but not having is optional, but you cannot have having without group by. Okay. So having is dependent on group by. So it will apply the having clause, and if any condition is mentioned, it will apply that condition and it will filter out all the other groups. That means if I say where I mean group by age and having age greater than 10, so all the other groups where age is less than 10, less than or equal to 10, all those groups will be dropped from the results. So it will do all this behind the scenes. So what we'll do, we'll just pass the queries. So behind the scenes, the SQL engine will perform the query in this particular order and give the result set within some milliseconds, right? Then it will select. It will apply select. So that means whatever columns you want to select, it will apply that filter. Okay? Column filter. So select is nothing but select is one of the clauses, right? So select is nothing but you are trying to filter the columns from your result set. Okay. So distinct is like the distinct row records, right? So out of the result set, you may have same records repeated. So in that case, if you want to have only distinct records, it will apply distinct. Okay, and then order by. That means order by a particular column, right? So within the if group by is there, what it will do first, it will apply group by, and within the group it will do the order by. So this is very important to understand, right? So for example, let us take this uh, database log. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm saying like select star from, just drag and drop this particular. I'm selecting everything and saying execute, right? So you get number of records. Okay, so let us group by some column, right? We have multiple schemas. Only one schema is there, and let us group by event. Group by event. So this is the IntelliSense that you are putting. So when I'm typing something, the SSMS Studio is automatically suggesting matching things. Okay, this is IntelliSense. So I'm just grouping by event. That means when I right now, if you see the records are like ordered randomly. So based on the the order in which the records have been inserted, right? So in the same order, you are getting back the records. So when I say group by event, yeah. So select event. Yeah. So what you have to do is like when you are saying group by, you have to specifically mention the column names. Okay. So let us say select star from. So that is what it is saying. So column, this particular log ID is invalid in select statement because it is not contained either in the aggregate function or the group by clause. So whatever columns you are selecting, those have to be part of some aggregate function or group by, right? So what I'm saying is like, so let us select star from this, right? So instead of star, what I'm saying is database log ID, database uh, log ID from my event. So I'm selecting only two columns, right? And event is looks to be a keyword, so that is where it's from. Yeah. So what you have to do is like what is this? This is int, right? So I will apply some aggregation on top of this. So for each of these groups, group by event, what I'm doing, I'm applying some aggregation on one of these columns. Okay. So otherwise, it will it will not retrieve the values actually, because when it is grouping by a particular column value, so it will have one record for each of these groups. So for that one record for each of these groups, you can't have multiple values of other column values. Okay, hope you are able to understand. So for one aggregate for one group by distinct value of this group by, when I'm saying group by event, that means there will be one unique value for so one value for each of the records which are displayed, one event value, right? So for each of these values, you can't have multiple database log IDs displayed. So that is not supported by relational databases. So one column value can map to only one another value of your other column, right? So that is what it is saying. So when you are saying group by, you have to apply aggregation on other columns apart from the group by clause, group by column. Okay. So yeah. So coming back to our example, right? Order by is within the group by. So that means after it applies group by, it will apply this order by. So I can say um, order by event. Okay. So what it is doing, like if I just say without order by, it is retrieving in a particular uh, manner, right? So if I give some name, some value, some alias name, right? And I'll say order by. So right now you can say you can see the first value, first column is not ordered by, right? So I'll say order by value. Uh, Value looks to be keyword, but still let us go ahead and explain. So right now it is ordered by value the alias column name, right? So uh, that is what we have to understand. So after group by is applied, your order by is applied. Okay, and at the end, top will be applied. So after applying all these clauses, whatever the end result set is there, if you want to retrieve only top 10 records or so, you can apply uh, this top clause. Okay. So that is the logical processing order of your various clauses within the select statement. Okay. So let us see various forms of select statement. Okay. So simplest one is like select star from table order by some column. Okay. Standard one. So you already have a table by name dim employee in your AdventureWorks database. So simplest of the simplest forms is like selecting. When you say star, that means you are selecting all the columns from which table, order by which column. Okay. So based on this discussion, how the order will be applied. So see, in our case, we are mentioning the clauses in the order in which we understand better. Okay. So how humans will understand better? Selecting some column or number of columns or R columns from which table, order by which column. So that is the natural order of understanding how the humans understand, right? But how the SQL engine will understand, it will execute in a different way. So as per the logical order above, what is the order? First from which table? So that means it will identify table or tables from which it has to get this value, right? And then order by. So that means order by which column. Then select how many columns, like one column or columns or other columns, right? So that is order in which SQL engine will execute. So that is very important to understand. So I am executing this. Yeah, I think I lost the connection. Yeah. So I'm selecting. So selecting the proper database is also important. select the proper database or try to use this use statement. So use database name. So when I say use master, and if you execute, okay, so master will be selected here. So okay, so use master. So select relevant database and execute this. So it is selecting all the columns from this particular table. So let us see the table. Dim employee, dim employee columns. So you can see number of columns are there. All columns are selected from this table. Order by last name. So that means if you see the last name column, so the ordering is by default, it is like ascending, right? So that means it will check the data type of your column. It will come to know what is the data type here, nvar, that means string. So it will order the values in the ascending order of alphabetical order. Okay. So by default it is ASC, that means ascending order. That is the default one. When you say DESC, you can fetch the same thing in the descending order. That means if you go to last name, you can see the records are ordered in a descending fashion. Okay. Yeah. And then we'll see the next one, table alias. So here as well, we have used a column alias. So similarly, if you have multiple tables, right? Especially when the table names are very big, here you can see like emergency contact name, emergency contact phone, and you have to mention when you are mentioning the column names and when you are joining the tables, alias is very useful, right? So every time you need not repeat this long table names. So table name dot column name. So in that way, what you will do, like you'll put an alias. So how to put an alias for the table name? So in the from clause after table name, you will say as is a keyword and the alias name. So once I mention this alias name, I can just say use this alias name in my select query or any condition and say dot some column name, okay, and put some apply some condition or something. So that way aliases will be very useful. So everything else will remain same. What you will do in the from clause after table name, put an as keyword and put your alias name. So alias name can be anything, and don't put quotes or single quotes or double quotes or something. Just mention your alias name. Okay. And normally, what we'll do, we'll put very simple names like one character or two characters, so that it is easy for us to write queries. So every time you need not repeat this table name in the other clauses. So let us do this same query with some alias name. So when I say e dot star, that means in this particular table, all the columns are retrieved. Okay, but the column names will remain same. So it is not like e dot employee key, e dot parent key, which is displayed here. So same column names which are there in the table, in the original table, same thing will be displayed. Okay, so that is about table alias. Okay, so there are a couple of questions. Soumya is asking like, what is the difference between order by and group by statements? Yeah, Soumya, the difference is order by is on a particular column, okay, and group by is also on a particular column, but you are grouping the records. So the purpose is totally different. So order by you have seen, right? So right now here we are saying order by last name, right? And here also we have seen like order by last name descending. So I think you understood what is order by. That means out of all the fetched records, you are sorting based on a particular column. Whereas group by is you are grouping based on the column value. So that means if you take this sales territory key, so that means you group all the records with same value in a particular group. Okay. So just understand, like, for example, if you have sales territory key, you have 5 different values. The records will be grouped based on this particular value. So that means all records with one value will be grouped in one group, then followed by all the records with value 3 or whatever, right? And the order is it's not order by. So that means within the group you can apply ordering, but not for the entire. So when you use group by clause within the group, you can apply ordering or other clause, because if you see the logical order, first group by is applied, then order by is applied. Okay. So when you don't have group by, that means entire result set is treated as one single group, and order by is applied. Okay. So just understand, order by is sorting, group by is grouping. Both are for different purposes. Okay. Is that clear, Soumya? Okay. So Gayatri is asking, like, give an example query for on clause. So on is normally used with joins actually. So when we discuss joins, right, you will understand what is the purpose of on clause. So shortly after this select statements, we'll see on clause. Okay. So just understand, on is a condition applied for joining. So that means you have various columns in one table. You are joining this table with another table, right? And how you have to join? So based on some condition, right? So on table 1 dot column name equal to table 2 dot column some column name. That means based on that condition, that, whereas I mean that means, like, in matrices you have seen, like, A cross B, or in sets and relations you have seen A cross B, right? So when you say A cross B, all the records in A are matched to all the records in B. But when you use this on condition, that means some of the records, only the records which satisfy this on condition, only those will be returned. So just understand, on is a condition applied on joined tables. Okay, so that we'll see very shortly. Is that clear, Gayatri? Okay. So A cross B is like, you also say, like, a Cartesian product, or cross join, or full join, right? So we'll see that, what do you mean by A cross B. So just understand, like, relational tables in relational databases are more or less like sets, right? So when you have done A cross B operations and all, so similar operations can be done on tables, and most of the join operations are similar to set operations. Uh, like, yeah, so we have seen table aliases. So similarly, you can mention column aliases. So that means very lengthy column names are there, or some column name is repeating, right? For example, if you are joining two tables, and two tables have same column name, let us say parent employee key, or some employee national ID alternate key. So same column name is there. So when you don't use column aliases, you will have two columns with the same name. So for the user, it will be confusing, like, which column belongs to which table, right? So in that case, probably you want to use column alias. So understand, alias is only for your result set. So it does not have any implication on your actual table. So the column name is not changing with inside your table. So only for this particular query, you are using a temporary name for your table or column. Okay, so that is very important to understand. So when you say as, nothing is getting changed in your database. So only for the result set, you are putting some temporary name. So column aliases are useful when you have same column name in multiple tables, or very long column names are there. So you may want to use column aliases. So because, for example, if you see this column name, employee national ID alternate key, and if I'm putting some conditions like using where clause and all, it will be very difficult for me to repeat the column name every time, and I may get into typo errors or whatever it is, right? And also when you're joining multiple tables, if same column name is there, it will be difficult to distinguish. Okay. So that's where column aliases are useful. So how to use column aliases? As is the keyword for mentioning aliases. Okay. So select column name, some column name, some column name, some column name, and for this you want to use alias. So put as first day. So that means you have start day, right? So here, where is the start day? Uh, yeah, start date, right? So here by default it will display whatever columns which are there in the table, right? So here you are getting start date only. So now we will see how the alias will work. You select it. So instead of start date, you are getting the name as first day. So this is only for this particular result set. So this does not mean the column name has changed permanently in your table. So if I mention something else like temp or something, it will say temp, whatever you give. Okay. It will say temp. And if I don't mention anything, right? So this double hyphen is for comments. Okay? If I don't mention anything, it will just say whatever is the default column name. Okay. So that is the purpose of your column aliases. And next we will see where clause. So what we understood is like where is a condition applied on your record set on based on some columns, right? So in this query, what I'm saying from this particular table. So when you're looking at the queries written by others, always try to understand in the way that SQL engine executes. That will be very useful actually. Okay. So when you look at a very big query, first go to from. Okay, from this table. Okay. I don't have anything else like group by and joins are not there. So select which columns. Okay. Select this. Okay. Select is addend. So from this table where end date is not null. Okay. So out of all the columns, I mean, out of all the records in column, like where this particular column is not null. So this condition is applied. Okay. And that means you are applying one more condition. So this is a logical statement, right? So Boolean value. So this will return some Boolean value. This condition will return some Boolean value, and you know about and or operations, right? So let us say Boolean value is true false, right? So true true, true and true, true and false, false and true. So these many combinations can be there. Can be there, right? So if you have two options, so four combinations will be there: false and true, and false and false. Right. So when it is true and true, and is when both when both Boolean values are true, only then the resultant value is true. Right. When any one of these is false, then it is false. Overall result is false. Right. So this is false. This is false. This is false. So that is how the Boolean statement, the logical statements are executed. So this is one statement. So it will apply end date is not null. So it will fetch all the records where end date is not null, and it will also apply this condition marital status equal to M. Okay. So all the other records where one of these conditions is not meeting, then it will drop all those records. Okay. And order by which column, and then all your columns which are applied, right? And here we are using some alias. Okay. So select is applied before order by. So select is applied, then order by. So select this particular statement and execute. Okay. Yeah. So that is about where clause. Where is applying a condition for your records. So here you can see the condition that you are applying here. Those columns need not be part of your select queries, because select is applied after applying the condition. So first it will get all the records from dim employee, and then it will apply these conditions, and then it will apply select clause. So that means these columns need not be part of your need may or may not be part of your select columns. I mean the select columns. Okay. And with column headings and calculations. So what we are doing here is we are applying some calculation on the column value. That means not just retrieving base rate. What we are saying, we are retrieving base rate into. So this is a arithmetic calculation applied on your. So star is also used for selecting all the columns, and when it is applied for on a particular column, it means it's an arithmetic operation. Okay. So base rate has to be something of numerical type, right? So let us see where is the base rate. Yeah, base rate is money, so which is numerical type, right? So what we are doing, we are applying into 40, and again, when you say into 40, that value originally which is there in table, that is not changed. Only for the purpose of your query, you are applying this particular calculation. Okay, as because see again, column aliases are useful in this case also, right? So base rate into 40. If I don't put a column alias, it will look very weird actually. So base rate into 40 will be the column name, right? Or some temporary name is given by SQL Server, which you don't want to. So that's where column aliases are useful. Okay. So here from this table, okay, select which columns: first name, last name, base rate, and again base rate into 40. So base rate is retrieved. We are creating one more temporary column in your result set, which with the value of into 40, base rate into 40. So whatever records are retrieved, in those records, another column will be created with base rate into 40 calculation. Okay. Let us try this. So here you can say some temporary column created with some temporary name, alias name, right? So this is not nowhere present in your table, but you are applying some calculation and displaying that particular column as well. So this is also very useful in your reporting use cases, right? So for example, you want to send some calculated value which is not there in your original table to your as part of your result set, so that your reporting will be easier. Otherwise, what will happen? You will send only this value base rate, and this will go to some programming language like .NET or Java. So within that, you have to for each record you have to calculate this value. It will be again you have to write some logic there, right? So why to do that? So directly push that value from your database itself by having some calculated value. So that way it will be lot easier for the programmers, application developers, right? So that is about column headings and calculations, right? Next comes the select and distinct and select. So that means you want to select distinct values of a particular column. Okay. So what you are doing here is from this table, select distinct values of title. Again, you are applying order by that particular column. Okay. So let us see how it works. So we are selecting only title, and again order by that particular column, title column value from this particular table. So that is the purpose of distinct. So when you don't say distinct, let us say what values you get. So here you can see how many records are retrieved. 67 rows are retrieved. So when I say just title, you will get all the duplicate values also. Okay, it will be more than 67, I believe. Yeah, 296 rows. So accountant, account manager, account manager. So it's repeated actually, right? So most of them, I mean, sometimes you don't want to repeat a particular column value. So you want to have distinct values. So that way, distinct clause is useful. Yeah. Distinct is nothing but unique value. So repeated column values are not sent to your result. Okay. And then comes the group by clause, right? So group by, what we understand is like from this particular table, right? First you will group by. So what is the order? First group by, then select, and then order by, right? So first you will apply group by. That means all the records are grouped by this particular column value. That means if this column value has 1, 2, 3 values, distinct values in your database, that means first the records with value 1 will be grouped together, and then the records with this column value as 2 will be grouped together. So that ordering is done, right? So grouping is done, it's not ordering. So group based on a particular unique values of a particular column value, then order by. So within these groups, what you are saying, order by this particular column. Okay, so and from this particular, from is already done, right? Before order by, select is applied. So select which column, order date key, and aggregation of some column value, and you are applying some alias column name, and then order by this particular column value. Okay, so what is the order? From, group by, select, order by. So that is the purpose of group by. So that means group by order date key is each of these the records will be grouped by unique values of this particular column first, and on top of it you will apply some aggregation, like apply some function. When I say aggregation, like some average or whatever it is on other column values, and also you will order by this particular any particular column. Okay. So by default this is like ascending order. Okay. I can say DESC also, DESC descending, and I can select everything and say now it is in descending order. So that is the purpose of group by. And so group by with multiple groups. So this is also very interesting. So what will happen? First you will group by a particular column name, column value, and within that group again you are creating subgroups. That means if I have 10 records, right, with 3 different values of order date key, that means 1, 2, 3. So first grouping is done by all records with one order key 1 in one place, then followed by 2, then followed by 3, let us say, or 3 to 1 in whatever order, right? And within each of these groups, that means I now I have 3 groups, 1, 2, 3, right? So within each of these groups I will do another grouping. Okay, group by promotion key. So I'm grouping based on some other column, right? So if in group 1, that means the group 1 where order date key is 1, I have promotion key as A, B, C. So within that group again 3 more groups will be created. Okay, so you can also group by multiple columns, grouping within groups. Okay, so how this will execute? From this particular table, group by first this column, and within that those groups create more groups based on this column value, and select all these values like order key, this, and for other columns. See, one important thing is, if you are selecting any column apart from the group by columns, you have to put aggregation. That means you have to apply some aggregate function, average, sum or something, and then you can retrieve. Otherwise it will be confusing for the SQL engine. As we discussed earlier, each group can have multiple records, and each of these records can have multiple values for these other columns, right? These values will remain same when you group by. That means when I say group by order date key in a particular group, this value will be same, right? And within that you are creating subgroup. Within those subgroups, this value will be same. So SQL engine will easily understand what is the value to be retrieved when you say select. But when you are retrieving other columns, if you are not applying any aggregate function, it will be difficult for SQL engine to understand what value to retrieve, because one of these values will map to multiple other values of these columns, right? So that's where if you are applying group by, the columns on which you are grouping by, you can directly fetch those column values. But if you are fetching other columns, apply some aggregate functions, average, sum, or whatever it is, right? So that's what we are doing here. First we are grouping by this column, then within that group we are creating subgroups based on this column, and now we are saying select this value, which are there as part of your group by clause, and then for the other columns we are applying some aggregate functions, average or sum or whatever it is, right? And we are putting some column aliases for our convenience. Okay, and then order by. At the last within these groups and subgroups, you are ordering by some other column, right? Yeah. So that is how you have to understand queries, the order in which the clauses are executed, and also uh, yeah, and also like how the conditions are applied, right? And how the LS work and all, right? So this is about grouping within groups, so subgroups, right? And now what you are doing, you are applying group by and where both. Okay. So what is the order? First where, then group by, right? After from joining and all, first thing that is applied is where. Okay. Group by and where. So what is the order? First go to from one table, then immediately where is applied. That means it will get all the records from this table, then apply this condition. Order date key, where order date key is greater than this particular value. Okay. And so for example, when you don't apply this condition, let us say you get 100 records. So after you apply this condition, let us say you get 50 records. Now you are, so imagine like that how it is processing in the background, right? So now you have only 50 records in your result set. Then what is the clause which is applied? Group by. So within these 50 records, whatever distinct values of order date key is there, you are grouping the records based on that particular column value, order date key column value, right? So let us say this has 1, 2, 3. So you have 3 groups. Okay. Now imagine you have your result set is having 3 groups where this condition is met for all the records. Now select is applied. So you are selecting not all the columns, but only the column based on which you have group by, and some aggregation function applied with some alias column name. Okay. Now order by is applied. So within these each groups, you are ordering by order date key, right? So out of the result set which is coming out of this particular query, you are ordering by this particular column value. So that means if the grouping is done like 2, 3, 1, so in the result set you will get 1, 2, 3 based on this key. Okay. So if I don't apply order by, let us see what will happen. Okay. So what is the order of your result set? If you see column 1 or column 2, there is no particular order, right? 704, 522, 727 and all. So now if you want to order by, so you can order by only based on the columns which are retrieved. So either it can be total sales or order date key, right? So order by is for displaying, right? So sorting your actual result set. So just before the result set is sent back to your output window or something, this order by is applied. So it has to be one of these columns, right? And this ordering is not, again, so this ordering is also not changed in your actual database. For example, you have inserted records like with value 2 first and then 3 and 1. That order will remain in your database. So this is only for your fetching purposes, right? Nothing is changed within your database. Select is only for fetching. So it works on a temporary result set. Doesn't change anything in the actual the table, the order or whatever it is, column order, record order, row order, your column names or computed column, nothing is changed. It will remain as it is. Select is only for fetching. Okay. So this is about group by and where combination. So we have to understand where is applied first, then group by is applied next. Okay. So when I say order by, it is ordered by this particular column value. Okay. I think we won't be able to cover joins. Just I will give an overview and tomorrow I'll continue with joins. Okay. So select, next one is group by with expression. So not only the plain value of your column. So grouping by can also be done by some expression of your one of your columns, right? So, and one more thing is in your select statement, it is not always mandatory that the column on which you are grouping by has to be part of your selected columns. It need not be. So here, what you can see, I am grouping by a particular column and applying some computation on it. But what I am selecting is a aggregation of some other column. That is absolutely fine, no problem. But it has also, if another column is there apart from the group by columns, it has to be an aggregation. It can't be like left as it is, because SQL engine will get confused, right? So what I'm doing is, from this particular table, group by this particular value. That means it will apply into 10 for each of the records, not changing the value in the table, but temporarily it will apply, compute this value, and based on these distinct values, it will group by. That means if my order date key is 1, 2, 3, or let us say 2, 3, 1, that is the order in which my order date key values are appearing, right? So it will apply into 10, that means 20, 30, 10. Then it will group by this particular value. That means all the records with 20 will appear at one place, then followed by 30, then followed by 10, right? And then what I'm applying for each of these groups, I'm applying the aggregate function. That means aggregation of this particular, some of these particular column values within only that group, right? And let us see what is the result, right? So can I say order by here, right? Order by total sales. Let us, yeah, I can obviously say order by total sales. Okay. Can I say order by sales amount? No, because I'm not retrieving plain sales amount. I'm retrieving only sum of sales amount, and moreover, I have put a column alias. So I have to use that alias only. Okay. Total sales. So order by is applied at the end on the on one of the columns or column values or alias columns which are part of your select statement. Okay. And group by with order by we have already seen. So from this table, first apply group by, and then apply select for these particular columns and aggregation columns with some column aliases, then order by a particular column value. So I can also say total sales, right? Order by one of these column values. So this one, yeah. So it cannot be any other column. Right? So order by has to be one of these columns which are part of the selection. And then having clause. So having is nothing but a condition applied for each of your groups. That means from this table, right, I am grouping by a particular column value, right? So let us say I have 2, 3, 1. Coming back to our example, so 2, 3, 1 are the distinct values of order date. So I will get 3 groups, right? Within those groups, what I'm saying is only those groups which meet this condition should be retrieved, right? So for example, I can say where is at the overall record set. Having is a condition applied for each of the groups. So that is the distinction. Okay. So where there is a subtle difference between where and having clauses. So I can still have where here. So from this table, I can say where some condition. So where some condition based on even other columns. So even need not be the group by or something. So it can be any column with my in my fact interset internet sales table, right? So where is that fact internet sales? Yeah. So fact internet sales. If I go here, so it can be any of these columns because where is applied immediately after from, right? So from this table, that means you have all the records when you apply where, all the records and all the columns. So it can, where condition can be on any of these columns. Need not be only the selected columns or group by columns or having columns. So that is the freedom you have when you are applying where. So it can be where of unit price, where unit price is greater than 10 rupees. I can obviously say, so your unit price is not included in your group by, having, order by, select, nowhere it is mentioned. Because when you apply where, you have all the records, all the columns, right? So where can still be there. And what is the next order after from? There is no where clause. What is the next one? Group by. So you are grouping by this particular column values. Having is condition applied for each of these groups. And when you say having, it has to be one of the group by columns only. It can't be anything else. Right? So group by this column and having this particular value greater than some value. If I don't put having, let us see what will happen. How many records we'll get. Okay, we are getting 1124 rows, right? And if you see order date key value, even everything is written, like all the distinct values of order date key are written, right? So even you can see something greater than this value, 2000 some zeros, right? Some 20,000, whatever, 2 crores. So here you can see which value is greater than this. So this value is greater than that, right? Now you want to filter this result set with records having this particular value only greater than this value. Okay, so that is the purpose of having. That means having is a condition applied for each of your groups. Okay, now you will get so okay, group by order key. Yeah, so all values are greater than this only, right? Greater than 2001. So let us put some other value. So let us say greater than 101230, right? 101230. Now let us see how many records are required. Okay, 1122 records only retrieved. Okay, order by order date key. If I say descending, let us say let us filter more. Let us even get even less number. So I'll increase the value. So let us say I want to have only these 4 rows, right? I'll say 12014 0124. Just copy this, right click, copy, and I can share. Value let's see, we get only 4 records. So for each of the groupings, you are applying some condition using having. So that is the purpose of having, and that is the difference between where and having. Where is applied for entire result set. Okay, all the records, all the columns. After all this filtering is done, after applying where and all, for each of the groups, if you want to apply another condition, that is done by using the having clause. Okay. So what we'll do, we'll stop here, and because it is planned for only 1 hour, I'll check with Chandra whether we can extend the time and all, right? So we have to cover joins and subqueries, which I will cover in the next class. So you have seen on clause, right? So on clause is used for joins. So joins are also very important. Subqueries are also very important, right? And the joins and subqueries are applied using the select statements. So there are different forms of select statement. Right? Most of the time, we will be joining multiple tables and retrieving multiple records, multiple columns from these tables, applying filtering, and we will also do subqueries. Subqueries are also very important, right? So we'll cover those. Okay. So stopping the recording.